Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sign of the TV House of Consciousness production. When I tell you, Turtle Gang showed the proof of who he is. Y'all gotta stop acting like when people say that they ancestors are of American Indian, American descent. Stop thinking that they lying. The brother that I just spoke to, he's not denying none of his African genes. And in fact, he said, man, there's no way we can't have African blood in us because of our mingling and mixing with the Africans. So he does not deny that. This brother showed me today, Turtle Gang, showed me his DNA. I looked at it. I seen it with my own eyes. And yes, it was right there in his family, man. The majority of it was right there. So I'm trying to tell y'all got to stop thinking that we do not have Indian ancestry. We do. It was mixed. But I don't deny my Africanness. I'm more African than anything, than any of that. Understand that. And he said that's how you could tell who's real and who's not. If any of them coming up here talking about they don't have no African blood, they just don't want to be African. They hate being African, So this, even Infadisi, I couldn't believe it. Infadisi told me his grandmama is was black Cherokee. You see? So he even went in on that. So it's no escaping that. Y'all I understand how y'all get crazy with it sometime, including me, when you see these sisters get up here and talk about they don't have no African blood. Now you know they crazy. Some of them is sick, man. I'm talking about some of the ones that I've been, dealing with. Not my sisters now. I ain't talking about my sister, but I'm talking about the other people out there. You got the top cats out there. You got these other people out there talking about they ain't got no damn African blood, but scared to take a DNA test. But Turtle Gang took a DNA test to prove, not to us, but to himself, who he is. And the brother brought mad sources, showed his history. Trust me when I tell y'all, in books, showed his family tree through DNA. And then he opened up a book and said, look at that. What's that? I was like, God damn. Yeah, he was going in, man. Trust and believe. And then when he told me all of these brothers hate him, I said, damn, why they hate you, bro? Because they got to come with some information now. He said a lot of these guys, they're not Indians, so they lying to you. They lying to you. Talking about the top cats and the Aboriginal powers and all of these people. He said they lying to you, son. I said, God damn. He said, this how you could tell if they really about that life. And he just pulled out his pad and just, oh my God, shows so much information, showing it. Not talking that talk, not showing stuff that he made up on to show slides. Nah, man. He showed his family shit. Turtle Gang. Shout out to Turtle Gang for the information we did today, man.
Criticizing others is a psychological default mode to give yourself permission to not take personal responsibility.
Correct. Yeah.
And so when you start critiquing other people, you don't have to take personal responsibility for your underachievement.
Always remember, you will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You will only be criticized by someone doing less.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another Sign of the TV House of Consciousness production. I told y'all, man, I made a mistake and cut the video off, and I'm going to replay it. And then we got Jabari tonight at 9 o'clock. Jabari will be pulling in at 9 o'clock tonight to deal with Chief X. The topic is, Brother Jabari, Chief X is wrong on Black Kemet again. Oh, man. How many times he got to correct? This is what he's saying. So without any further ado, let's get this thing going. This is an Indian brother that I'm going to put up. And He represents Turtle Gang. He is the CEO of Turtle Gang. And this is one Native American Indian brother whom I respect dearly. I've known this brother for years, and he's always put in that work. I've seen him put in that work. And so one thing I can tell you, he's not afraid to call himself African. He's not afraid to say he has African blood. He understands that we all been mixed. And without any further ado, I bring to you Yeah. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm here with the legend, my brother, the Turtle Gang. Been knowing him for years, man. Coming through on 125th Street, you know, but he always be low key. But he's here today to bring us some powerful, pertinent information. And without any further ado, Turtle Gang in the building.
So let me start by saying, Welaguntawakin ok onaguntawakin ilan kumakik. Kungena walonwa kulumosi. Nindashinzi ila takwa. Ninon Giai Lenape Hoking ok Shiekbi ok Muskutin. Nita Lenape Wak, Nita Sandhill Band Lenape Cherokee of New York, New Jersey. Now Walotamin Wanduk Takwa. Anishik Kishalamo Kwang, Anishik. Mich Gich Diptone. So sa, that was a traditional greeting in the Muncie dialect of the Lenape language. I also had some of the Unami dialect mixed in because my people, the Sandhill Band Lenape Cherokee of New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, we spoke both dialects. So it's traditional for someone who say they represent a certain community or a tradition or a culture to introduce themselves in a traditional manner, right? So that's one of the first things you need to look for. We all can say hello. I can say halito. I could say OCO, right? I'm Cherokee. I could have added OCO to my greeting. See what I'm saying? Because that's a part of my bloodline. You know what I mean? But just saying hello and all that, nah. So this is what I said to you. I said, greetings, peace and blessings to my family. Greetings to all, right? How are you doing? I introduced myself as Ila Takwa, which is my traditional name, which was gifted to me by Shinnecock elders. It means war turtle. I also expressed where I'm from. I said I am from Lenapehoking. And then I went more in depth and I said Shiekbi, which represents the New Jersey. And then to go even more in depth to honor the land that we standing on, I said Muskutin. Muskutin is the Lenape name for Harlem, right? So that's called land recognition. Because see, we standing here in New York, Manhattan, Harlem, but this is Lenape territory, right? So whenever you're dealing with any type of cultural, anything cultural, whenever you're dealing with any type of ceremonial thing, you're supposed to do a land recognition. You know what I'm saying? If we was in Kemet right now, we would recognize the deities in Kemet, right? Wherever we at, right, we would recognize those deities, right? That history, that culture. It's called land recognition. So I included the term Muskutin to identify this very particular land we sitting in, right? Now, so what I'm gonna do is, first thing I'm gonna start, because we talk about records, right? And people wanting to have records to validate who they are. But most people go to the European records, talk about the census, right? And then they argue that the European changed their identity on the Europeans' records, because those records aren't yours, right? The census man came around, was he from your community? No, he's from the government coming to take records. So they come around, they take records of who you are, and then they take them back to wherever they got them, and they house them in their records. Let me ask you something, Si. If I came to your house right now and took a census of everybody living in your house, And then I went back to wherever I'm going to take the information to, and I wrote down the opposite of what you said. Would that somehow erase the information from your mind?
No.
Would that stop you from teaching your kids who you are?
No.
So why is it that paper genocide, people are using that as an excuse as to why they don't know who they are? Paper genocide is paper genocide. It's not physical genocide, right? So I'm gonna show you that my people went through genocide. We went through paper genocide, but guess what? We still who we are because we retained our identity, not because we relied on the United States Census, right? We don't rely on Europeans. So people will try to tell you that Turtle Gang and all them come from groups that are sitting up under the feds and we trying to, no, I'm not federally recognized. My tribe is not state recognized. We are internationally recognized. Why? Because we took our business beyond the borders of the United States. That's why we're in the UN. That's why we're in the UN, right? Under our tribal identities. Okay, so when people also tell you they doing work, oh, we be doing work, we don't brag about it. We've been doing work for years. And as you stated before, Si, what? I'm very low key. I don't come out here bragging on myself. But I've been around forever. I've been around. I showed you a book that my uncle received from Mfudisi in 1991 with Mfudisi's signature on it. And my uncle, who he gave that book to, is a descendant of the Ramapo Nation. He's a descendant of the man line. He's a descendant of the chief line. So despite the fact that he was Ramapo, right, mixed with African, he gravitated towards his African side. So he studied Kemet. You understand? We had no problem with that. It didn't change the fact that he was still had Lenape ancestry. It just means he identified with his African side, and that's fine. See, we ain't had no problem like that. That's why I grew up in a house that had a 6-foot scarab beetle painted on the eastern exterior wall facing the water. Right? That's cultural. Right? That didn't stop us from knowing who we are. So I'm gonna give you an example of the records we kept, right? So this is information that all this information in this book, right, is all information that's available on public records. You can go download. This is all information pertaining to my family, but the same way all this information is available about my family, if your family was a prolific family that did things, right, you're gonna find the same records. So this talks about why is New Jersey's Commission on Indian Affairs committing historical genocide, right? So it talks about how New Jersey is trying to write my tribe out of history for political reasons, right? Not because at this point, yeah, we appear to be black, but it's political reasons why they're trying to write us out. You understand? Which has to do with jurisdiction, because we predate the state. You understand? So, yeah, we appear black, but the reason why they're trying to write us out is because of the jurisdiction we have over the territory, because we're one of the few remaining groups that did not remove. And I'll take you through all that, right? I'm not going to ask you to believe nothing on face value. So I'm going to hand you this book in a minute so you can see it for yourself, Si. But this right here, like I said, it's all public information. Now, this is the important thing, right? People talk about tracing their tribes. This right here is a complete family list of our tribes in New Jersey, of the Sandhill, of all the families and the locations and counties they live in. And this is not new information. This is what is called a roll, right? A local, like Dawes rolls are the government rolls. Every community had their own roll, just like Harlem has its own list of citizens, okay? So for a little more New Jersey Lenape Cherokee history from around the state, here are some names you may recognize based on where you live in New Jersey. So Delaware is the Lenape side, right? That's what they call Lenape. They call them Delawares, right? So you have Delaware Lenape families, Monmouth and Burlington, Ashton, Hill, Ray, Reevy, Clay, Thompson, Vanetta. Then you have Delaware Lenape families, Warren and Morris County, Ray, Hill, Thompson, Clay, Ketawa families, right? Who is Cherokee. You have Crummell, Davis, Holloway, Horner, Richardson, Meyer, Waters, right? Very in-depth list, right? Sussex County, Davis, Holloway, Meyer, Wolf, Bergen County, Robinson, Ketawa families, Monmouth and Burlington County, Crummell, Davis. Now, this is the group I come from. Crummell, Davis, Holloway, Horner, Richardson, Meyer, and Waters. I'm a Richardson. My grandmother is Cassie Althea Richardson. My great-grandfather is Jonathan Richardson. I'm gonna show you something in a minute, all right? So this is just one example, right, of the records we kept. Not records that Europeans kept for us, our records, right? Just showing you, you know what I mean? Like, I can't go through it all, but this is all stuff that people who are gonna make these claims, they gotta have all this type of information, right? So here we go. So now let's deal with Walter Plecker, right? Because Walter Plecker appears in my family records, right? Walter Plecker was the first registrar of the state of Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics, right? A proponent of eugenics and the author of the Virginia Racial Integrity Act. Plecker issued birth, death, and marriage certificates and routinely changed races of applicants from Indian to Negro. Now, people are going to paint the picture that Walter Plecker was changing everybody's identity in Virginia. Walter Plecker, I'm about to pull something up and I want you to read it, Sal. All right? Because they're painting the picture that Walter Plecker is responsible for all Indians being stripped of their identity. Walter Plecker had an explicit target list full of instructions. And that list targeted certain families. The same way we have records of our families here, Walter Plecker targeted families the same way in Virginia.
This is a public service announcement. The following presentation contains controversial information and ideas that could change the way you view the world. What you see and hear may soon compel you to take action. Viewer discretion is advised.
To aid all of you in determining just which are the mixed families, we have made a list of surnames by counties and cities as complete as possible at this time. This list should be preserved by all, even by those in counties and cities not included, as these people are moving around over the state and changing race at the new place. A family has just been investigated, which was always recorded as Negro around Glade Springs, Washington County, but which changed to white and married as such in Roanoke County. This is going on constantly and can be prevented only by care on the part of local registrars, clerks, doctors, health workers, and social authorities. Please report all known or suspicious cases to the Bureau of Vital Statistics, given names, ages, parents, and as much other information as possible. All certificates of these people shown Indian or white are now being rejected and returned to the physician or midwife. But local registrars hereafter must not permit them to pass their hands uncorrected or unchallenged. And with that, a note of warning to us. 150,000 other mulattoes in Virginia are watching eagerly the attempt of their pseudo-Indian brethren, ready to follow in a rush when the first had made a break in the dite. Very truly yours, Walter A. Plecker, M.D., State Registrar of Virginia Vital Statistics. This is a target list provided by Walter Plecker himself. The families that were targeted were mixed indigenous families. The families that were reclassified were mixed indigenous families, families of African and Native descent. Walter Plecker did not target Negroes who were full-blooded Indians. He targeted mixed families.
Walter Plecker's target list, right?
One more time.
So all these people randomly saying Walter Plecker affected them. Let me show you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So let's just get to the instructions. All right. So here we go. Walter, very truly yours. All right. Please report all known or suspicious cases. This is Walter Plecker's instructions to the birth mothers, all these different people that would be a part of vital statistics. Please report all known or suspicious cases to the Bureau of Vital Statistics, giving names, age, parents, and as much other information as possible. All certificates of these people showing Indian or white are now being rejected and returned to the physician or midwife. But local registrars hereafter must not permit them to pass their hands uncorrected or unchallenged and without a note of warning from us. 150,000 other mulattoes in Virginia. What did he say? 150,000 other mulattoes. Walter Plecker was targeting mulattoes. He was not targeting full-blood Indians or full-blood Negroes. He was targeting mixed natives and turning their identity from Indian or whatever tribe they were to Negro. Mixed people, mulattoes, not Negroes, not full-blood Indians. This is what these people don't realize. All right, so 150,000 other mulattoes in Virginia are watching eagerly the attempt of their pseudo-Indian brethren, ready to follow in a rush when the first wave made a break in the dike. So what's happening? You're having Walter Plecker wanting to stop mixed natives from identifying as Indian. Why? Because of the one drop rule. Why? Because they removed all the Indians. Why? Because to further develop the land, the Indians have to be off the land, not the Negroes. So any Indian who has Negro blood and still identifies as Indian is a problem. You understand? Now, verily truly yours, Walter A. Plecker, MD, State Registrar of Vital Statistics. Page 2, surnames by counties, cities of mixed Negroid Virginia. I'm gonna leave that there. So it's sick. I need it to sink in. All right. Now I'm gonna go through the names. So here we go. Families striving to pass as Indian or white: Albemarle, Moon, Powell, Kidd, Pumphrey, Amherst, Albemarle, whatever is the county. Amherst County, migrants to Allegheny and Campbell. Now these are the families: Adcock, Beverly, right? Now look at the name here. This is what I want you to understand, Sa. Can you see that name in the middle?
Yep.
So what you'll see, if you look closer, you'll see Branham. You see that? You can see that Branham right there? Now, look at my UN pass. What does the last name say? It says Branham. You understand? So the reason why I talked about what happened in Virginia is because I'm a Branham. And my family was one of the first families that Walter Plecker targeted. This is why I talk about him. But there's full lists. Bedford, you have Rockbridge, Cash, Clark, Coleman, Duff, Floyd, Heartless, Hicks, Mason, Mays, Painters, Pulls, Ramsey, right? Charles City, Collins, Dennis, Bradby, Howell. Now, all these people who are claiming to be victims of Walter Plecker, why have you not gone to the list and found your name in the list? Why they ain't talked to you about that, Sa? Because they don't know what they're talking about. Because they're just regurgitating things that they heard somebody else say. Why they can't go through this list, bro? Because guess what? If they're telling the truth, their name is probably on the list. Wow. See? Now, Walter Plecker was not targeting Negroes. He was targeting mixed natives.
Who is Walter Plecker?
Walter Plecker is the, we'll go back to the start of it. Walter Plecker was the first registrar of Virginia Vital Statistics. He's the one, when they started issuing birth certificates and things like that, he's the one that oversaw all that.
He's the white man.
He's the white man.
Yeah.
Right? So these people are blaming Walter Plecker for changing their identities, right? When the evidence of whose identities he exactly changed is available. Right. Because he started with a list. Right. Okay. There are people who are of African ancestry who's married Indians. When they removed all the Indians, a lot of those mixed ancestors stayed. And they stayed under the identity of being Negro, right? But if they didn't personally identify as Negro and were living as Indians, they became a problem. because all the Indians are supposed to be west.
Earlier that he was targeting the albinos.
No, I never said albinos.
Who you said again?
Albemarle is a county in Virginia. I just didn't pronounce it right. That was the name of the county where these specific families are. They give the list, gives the name of the county and the families to look out for. So when people are acting like he arbitrarily changed every Indian's identity, they're misled or they're lying to you, right? They definitely didn't do the research. You know what I mean? So when I talked about Walter Plecker, I was doing it responsibly because he directly affected my family. All right? So now let's get past the whole Walter Plecker shit. I just want to show you things that I don't necessarily want to show on camera because there's too many people taking advantage of those of us who share our family's information. But I want you to just, since we like to look at pictures, I want you to come over here and just look at some of these pictures so you can see who these people that I'm talking about are. All right? These are my relatives. These are Sandhill Indians, right? Images of them. Look at them. They all look mixed, don't they? What do they look like?
Yeah, they all look mixed.
All look mixed, right? Now, people will tell you that these people are the original Indians, right? But no, we're not. We're mixed. Sorry, y'all. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, I'm going to show you more pictures up to... Now, look at these pictures. So that's from 1940. Those are my elders. Look at them people. You see them?
Yep.
Now, I'm going to read something to you. From left, James Reevy. I'll show the picture.
Right.
All right. So, from left, James Reevy, Isaac Richardson, Jonathan Richardson, Robert Richardson, Robert Reevy, Ryers Crummell. Ryers Crummell is the chief. The picture below is them sitting with their wives, right? These are my elders, my ancestors. This picture was taken in 1945, circa 45, 1940, somewhere around there. Now, I'm going to show you something. Because people say, well, did you do your DNA? Did my DNA? Did all that. We did all that. We don't run from none of that. We are who we are, right? And the DNA verifies everything we say. But I want to show you something in regards to, because I'm only going to speak on my direct history, right? I don't want to infringe on anybody else's history. So here is my family. Here is my tree, right? I'm going to show you, right? No, I'm going to show you. Here's my tree. You see me, right?
Wow, yep.
Right? Now, what does this name say right here?
John Richardson.
Bong. I don't got to play. You see that? I don't got to play.
Right.
And
John Richardson.
I could go through.
Wow, that's deep there, brother.